So in the standards now, language is what used to be grammar and conventions.
Right.
And in language we have syntax, sentence level type skills, and creating style and meaning through correctly written sentences.
Yes.
What standards or what skills did you want to highlight during this unit of Mouse?
Okay. Well, one thing in particular, I wanted my students to develop the skills of writing with different sentence structures and having sentence variety and moving away from simple and compound sentences alone. So according to the first standard for language, students should be able to demonstrate the command of the conventions of standard English, grammar and usage when writing or speaking. And underneath that standard, Part B says, using various types of phrases like verb, adverbial, participial, prepositional, or dependent. And those are the skills that I wanted my students to demonstrate on this particular assignment.
So what process do you use? When in your instructional framework throughout your day are you sort of providing some explicit instruction and practice?
Right. Well, the instruction comes during the warm-up time. So those first 10 minutes or so of classes, when students come in, it's already on the board for them to sit down. They know what to do.
What are they doing?
For instance, when we talk about conjunctive adverbs, there was an exercise where they had to look at two sentences and figure out if the sentences could be combined with a semicolon. Were they related enough? And if so, not just add a semicolon to it, you have to then add a conjunctive adverb to it, so that they could practice that format. And we would practice that for the duration of that week. And then they would also be able to look for that type of sentence in some of the readings that we were doing.
So all week they're sort of practicing that skill.
Yes.
Now hold on, someone might say, you're just doing 1 through 10 in the grammar book. Grammar in isolation.
Right.
That doesn't work. So I did hear you say though that they're looking for it in their books.
Exactly, and that's how we move away from grammar in isolation, by taking what the students are learning and then having them look for examples of that in the text that they're reading, and then asking them to demonstrate that as well.
So when would they really be demonstrating it, would you say?
I would say they would probably begin demonstrating it as we move towards the writing assessment for the unit or for that particular novel. Then they would begin to practice it and demonstrate it then.
So the warm-up isn't the summative. You're not necessarily grading that
Right.
as the assignment.
Right.
That's a formative practice.
Yes.
And then the summative, where you really see whether they're grasping it, is in the essay.
Exactly.
So we're going to post, again, in the essay assignment, I see here, you have the actual assignment at the top, but then you've identified specific language skills you want them to have in a positive phrase.
Yes.
Use a semicolon. Use a participle to start the sentence. You're very explicit. A prepositional phrase, a dependent phrase, and you're going to take off 2 points for these specific errors.
Right.
But you have 5 specific things. And do they have to identify those in the essay?
Yes, I wanted them to highlight them in the essay. Even in the rough draft, I wanted them to underline them so I could look and see, are they really practicing? Do they understand how to work that into what they're already saying?
Okay, so they're getting practice in the first 5 minutes, 10 minutes, and feedback. They're looking for it in the textbook as they read, and then they're demonstrating mastery in their authentic writing.
Exactly.
Excellent. Thank you very much, Aquilyn. In our next segment, we're going to talk a little bit about the final product and how you grade it, how you provide feedback, and what that looks like.
Okay, thank you.